Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King. Last night after posting What If Naruto was disowned by everyone, my internet just went away guys. I was unable to post any of my other series, so sorry about that. But everything is back and running today guys, so yeah, I'm gonna be giving you my new series. What If Naruto Was a Godly Mage Part 1. If you enjoyed this and want to see part 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and comment down below and tell me that you want to see part 2 guys, and I'll be posting it as soon as possible. And also stay in tune for What If Naruto is given a second chance on this channel guys, and enjoy that. And later on I'm going to be posting a new episode of What If Naruto Got His Memories Sealed Away. And also What If Naruto Learned the clone technique in the beginning. So stay tuned for that as well guys, and remember if you're new to go ahead and click that red subscribe button, become a part of the Anime King family, and thank you for all for your help and support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new, I'll be replying and talking back to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, what is we begin this new episode? Start the intro. We begin this new series with a woman as she was running as fast as she could. She was holding something in her arm, so she had to make sure how she ran even though she was moving fast. As tears could be seen dropping. She was crying. She was wearing a hood. The only thing you could see was a strand of golden hair that was coming out of the hood side. She finally reached down her alleyway as she came upon a wall. There was a massive explosion not too far away from her location. As she started to cry even more, tears dropping in the basket that she was holding. Inside of the basket was a beautiful baby boy. He had beautiful blue eyes, blue and bright like the ocean, as he had blonde hair on his head, strands of it. He looked rather upset, like he wanted to cry, but the woman placed a hand on his cheek as she smiled at him, making him giggle and smile back. It was then that she placed her hand on the ground. Strange ruins started to light up on her hand before a strange vortex in front of her opened up and a book came out of it. The book came floating down before landing right in her hands. She smiled. "Please, protect him," she said. It was then that the book spoke, but it wasn't really speaking. As normal people couldn't hear it, it was going directly into her mind. "I will do everything I can," the book said. I'm trusting you, Yamato. Please, watch out for him." "I will." As she placed the book straight in the basket, she then leaned down and kissed the baby on his forehead. "Be safe. It is not safe for you here. I know I'll probably never get to see you again, but know that I'll always love you," she said. "But I know that you'll find a better place, with better people that will take care of you. Something much better than this place," she said, looking around, as another massive explosion went off. It was then that she bit her finger as she started to wipe her blood on the wall, creating some strange symbols. The more she wiped, the more her blood started to glow, before the entire wall was illuminated in front of her. The wall then started to break in, but it did not go to the other alley behind it. The thing broke in and you could see all sorts of light. As light started to shine everywhere, she then heard an explosion behind her. It was getting close. She lifted up the baby and kissed him one more time, placing him back in the basket. He looked at her as she put him right inside the strange vortex as it was sucked away, the wall fixing back up. She then heard a growl behind her, which made her turn around. Tears still leaking down her face, but she turned to face whatever was behind her. Meanwhile, the baby was going through this strange vortex things. As Yamato, the boat that spoke, was in there as well. The place started to get dangerous as lightning started to shock around the basket. The boat then started to glow a red color before enveloping the basket as well. As the lightning in there was all different colors, lightning of gold, of white, of pale blue, bright blue. The lightning then started to shock as it made contact with the red glow that was coming off of the book. As he tried his best, but the lightning kept on shocking until it made contact once more. The boat then started to get shocked all around before it collapsed right back in the basket. As it closed, the red glow vanished and it vanished from the basket. The baby was now screaming. His eyes were shut closed. Lightning started to manifest all over. It seems this was a difficult way to travel, but the only way. The baby then snapped his eyes open. It was then a glow emerged from him and his basket. The glow then pushed away every single lightning spark, blowing everything away, making for a smooth, safe trip. He then collapsed down in his basket as he went to sleep, like nothing just happened. Meanwhile, at the Elemental Nations, we begin this in one of the strongest villages in the nations, Konoha, that has ruled ever since the first Hokage and Madara Uchiha created the village. It has ruled over all the other nations when it comes into power, as they have had splendid shinobis, such as their Hokages, Hoshirama Senju, Tobirama Senju, Hiruzen Sarutobi, and now currently, the 4th Hokage, Minato Namikaze. As we go directly to Minato's house, steam was coming from the table, from the plates, as one Kushina Uzumaki had a sad look on her face. It was not because Minato was late again, it was because she wanted to have a child. She loved Minato, but she wanted someone else to pass her love on as well. But she blamed herself. The stream of yokai through her system ever since she was younger, from the foxes placed inside of her. It was a reason why it was hard for them to have kids. And it doesn't matter how much they try, it doesn't seem to be working out. So that was the reason why she was sad. As seeing the other mothers, her best friend Mikoto already have a son, Itachi, and she was already pregnant with another one. As she already picked out a name for him, Sasuke Uchiha. If she was going to have a boy, she would call him Naruto Uzumaki. Ever since she heard that name from Jiraiya, she just loved it. If she was going to have a girl, she was going to name her after her predecessor, her fellow Uzumaki, Mito Uzumaki. Yes, that is how she was going to name them. And she would love that baby and make sure that he or she would ever be taken care of. Kiss him or her every night. Make sure they have wonderful dreams. But she was saddened by the fact that she couldn't get pregnant. It was then it happened, the entire room started to shake. As she looked around wondering what was going on. The place was shaking violently. The table, the spoons, everything started to fall off the tables. She looked around, she got up out of a chair. It was then the entire place was illuminating a bright flash of light, forcing her to close her eyes as quickly as possible. It only lasted for a few seconds before the light died down. When the light vanished, she heard crying, as she wondered what was that. Opening back her eyes, she saw a basket with flower designs all over it. The first thing she noticed was a book poking out of the basket, but the crying. She stepped closer. She quickly picked up the baby inside, the reason being the book was smoking. As she wondered what the hell, she then realized a baby. What is a baby doing in here? She found this entire situation strange because just a few seconds ago, there was no baby in here. Was this the work of a enemy or something? Doing some kind of jutsu? But why would anyone give away this? A big smile came to her face as she saw the beautiful, peaceful baby sleeping. He had beautiful blonde hair. It was similar to Minato's. She couldn't see his eyes because they were closed. And his little fingers, they were all bottled up. It made her want to cry just looking at him, crying joy. Kushina, where are you? Said the voice. She was so caught up she didn't even hear the door open. In here, she said. Minato stepped in. As he looked around, what happened? He said, seeing the silverware on the ground. He then turned. Minato. He blinked a few times. What are you doing, that baby? He asked. Well, you see, as Minato looked at her. What are you doing, that baby? He said once more. Don't give me that look, she said. I didn't steal him or anything. Oh, I was not thinking that. Well, that look of yours was, she said, giving him a stern glare. Trust me, I wasn't, he said. Alright, fine. Well, I found him. Kushina, you know that you said that you just didn't steal him, right? But saying that you found him doesn't really make it sound better. Well, I'm not lying, I actually found him. What do you mean? Well, you have to call Snazzy, because we need to run some checks. Time skip. And you say that you just find him, said Jiraiya. Exactly. I mean, it was like he came to me. I was in here 1 second, waiting for Minato to get home. And then the entire place was illuminated in this bright light. And then he arrived. And this thing. As Jiraiya had the book in his hand as he tried to open it, but nothing. I tried it a long time ago, said Minato. The thing just wasn't budging at all. Some kind of Fuinjutsu seal or something, Jiraiya asked. No, that's not any Fuinjutsu I've seen or known before. There was an M on the front of the book, with 3 circles around it, as they all were connected by lines going towards the M. But there was not any seals on the book, it just wouldn't budge for anyone. As Snazzy was running her hand over the baby as a frown was on her face. What's wrong? Asked Kushina after seeing the frown. Yes, said Sarutobi. Is he okay? As the 3 of them were there, Jiraiya, Sarutobi and Snazzy, they were called. Snazzy stopped. This is truly strange, she said. What do you mean? Well, this kid has no chakra. Not even a drop of chakra. But that's impossible, Haim. I'm telling you what I saw, said Snazzy looking at Jiraiya. But how? Said Sarutobi. And that's not the strange thing. What do you mean? Asked Kushina. Well, he's perfectly fine, even though he doesn't have an ounce of chakra in his body. As Minato stood there with a confused expression on his face as he didn't understand one bit. But there is this different aura. At that moment the baby woke up. As he looked around, his blue eyes scanned the area. Kushina couldn't help but smile as he saw his blue, beautiful eyes. They were big and blue and wide. How cute, she said. She stepped forward and started to tickle his nose. And he then started to laugh, as the entire situation looked heartwarming. As Minato looked at her, this was rather strange. So what were you saying, Snazzy? He said. Well, there's this strange aura. It's not chakra, I can't really tell what it is. But it's the first time feeling something like this. What do you mean? Asked Jiraiya. Just come and see for yourself, she said, as she placed a hand that was glowing right on his back. As the baby stood there just looking at her, it was then the room felt it. It was like the chakra made connection with this strange aura. Something different that he never felt before. And then something strange happened. This strange aura went over Snazzy's hand, and the green glowing medical technique vanished. The baby hand then started to glow green as he laughed and wagged them around. Everyone looked at each other. What the hell just happened? Said Sarutobi, as he was beyond shock. This was just a baby. How the hell could a baby do something like this? He just took my technique, said Snazzy. But how? Said Kushina. I have no idea, said Snazzy. As Minato looked at Jiraiya. Jiraiya, all of them were confused to say. What are we going to do about this? Said Sarutobi, as the baby hands returned back to normal. I'm going to keep him, of course, said Kushina, as everyone looked at her. What? She said. It was like she grew a second head. Come on, I mean, I am far advanced in Fuinjutsu. So if there's anything to find out about this and to get that book open, I would be the best person to know. And besides, you are the Hokage with the resources and information to find out anything. If any other person possessed these strange powers, she said. She does have a point, said Jiraiya. Well, yeah, she does, but it's strange. This is the first I'm hearing of a kid like this. And how did he just do that? Well, if you will be taking up the responsibility, you have my support, said Sarutobi, as the entire room now looked at Minato. As Kushina lifted up the baby and spin him around and smiled. He couldn't say no to that. I guess we're keeping him, he said. Time skip. 1 year passed. The baby was given the name Naruto. That was what Kushina always wanted to call her son, Naruto Uzumaki. Things were going well. They still didn't know what this unknown power was, and the book did not open for no one. Day in and day out, he was just a normal baby, sweet and nice. And because of none of them using any other jutsus around him, he didn't take control of it anymore or do anything like that. So everything was going rather well. Minato was at the office rather late. He told Kushina that he'll be late tonight because he has a lot of paperwork. No one really knew about where the baby came from, except for her best friend, and others who were in the room that night. Mikoto knew, and she told Mikoto what happened. Mikoto was rather confused. How could he doesn't have no chakra? How could he still be alive if he doesn't have any? And what was that strange aura? But Kushina did not know how to answer those questions. But Mikoto was happy nevertheless for her friend. She well wanted a baby, and now she has one to share all her loves and everything with. And Mikoto couldn't help but smile. It was just wonderful. Till this dreadful night. As Naruto was in his crib chair, the food was all over the place as Kushina sighed. Again, she said, as he knocked over the food. She then walked away to get something to clean him up as he was strapped to a chair. She then heard something. It was like a shift in the air and a wish of breeze just passed. She came back in the room to a horrified sight. Her son was being held. Naruto didn't know that he was in trouble as he was just smiling and giggling. But he was being held by this man with this strange orange mask. "Who the hell are you?" said Kushina. "It doesn't matter who I am," the man said. "I came here for you," he says. He looked at Kushina. Kushina here started to flutter in the air. "Let go of my baby," she said as she stepped forward. "As you wish," he said, as he threw the baby forward. As Kushina jumped up and caught baby Naruto. As she took her eyes off the man for too long, she was grabbed roughly by chains and pulled away inside the vortex. As baby Naruto just lay on the ground, he then started to cry. As he started to cry some more, and he started to cry some more, and then he started to cry some more, making the entire house shake. As his eyes snapped open, his once blue eyes gaining a humming color of blue, becoming more darker as he started to cry even more. As he was scared, frightened. Meanwhile, at the office, Minato was going through his paperwork. It was then that the water on his table, a water glass, the water started to ripple a bit. He then felt it. It wasn't just the water, everything was shaking. As he looked around the books on the shelf, as everything started to fall. As the envelopes came out of the shadows. "What is going on?" he said. As another envelope flashed in the room. "Sir, it's coming from your house." As Minato quickly vanished in a flash. In an instant he was home. His entire house was shaking as baby Naruto was floating in the air. A strange red aura was around him as he was just crying. Minato quickly stepped forward. "Naruto," he cried out. As Naruto turned towards him, still crying, but his face started to soften out a bit, before Minato leaped forward and grabbed him in his arms. As the crying stopped, as he started to sniffle a bit. As Minato looked around, everything was a wreck. Everything fallen to the ground. But where was Kushina? She would never leave Naruto like this alone. Something was wrong. He could just feel it. He flashed away again. Moments later, "Don't worry, I'll take good care of him," said Mikoto. As small Itachi was by her feet. Itachi didn't know what was going on. Suddenly, the Hokage arrived and told Mikoto to watch over his son. He went inside to make sure that his little brother Sasuke was okay. Meanwhile, Minato flashed away again. Minato came to a horrified sight. He only had seconds. His wife had one of his seals on her just in case. He quickly grabbed her and flashed away as the rock that she was on got destroyed by the fox. As he looked up at the thing was being controlled. Its eyes were off the Sharingans. As Minato turned to see the one that was there, a man wearing a mask. Kushina looked exhausted after the night has been extracted from her. "Where's Naruto?" she said. As Minato gave the maskman a glare before vanishing, he arrived back in the village. As he brought her straight to the Uchiha compound, but after what he saw, he had to make sure he saw the Sharingan, and the only users of the Sharingan were the Uchihas. something was wrong. But it then happened. Screams could be heard as a giant nine-tailed fox was summoned in the village. And Minato knew there was only one way that he could save his home and protect the people. It was his duty, it was his responsibility as the Hokage. Time skip. Sarutobi had a sad look on his face as a single tear dropped from his eye. Because lying in front of him was Minato and Kushina. Both of them had a giant hole through their stomachs. The both of them already died. The nine-tail was sealed inside of young Naruto, who was crying same way, as he was in his small little crib. As Sarutobi shook his head, the wonderful family was just breaking apart so easily. He had no idea what happened. He only knew that the beast was summoned in the village, extracted from Kushina somehow. But Minato went off to fight someone. That's what he was told. And then he arrived a little bit earlier, and the fox seemed to have regained his senses and snapped out of the control. But the only way to stop him was to seal him away. While Kushina held him down their chains, they tried to seal him, but he was trying to kill the baby so he wouldn't get sealed away anymore. And the both of them took the stab for young Naruto, now leaving him alone. As Sarutobi held down his head, time skip, a few hours later. "We must get rid of that demon. He killed my husband," said Tatsumi Inuzaka. As everyone heard about what happened, Sarutobi looked at all of them saying that, well, they agree with her. It was Danzo who spoke next. "I have a better idea. Konoha has been weakened because of this attack. Give me the baby and let me train to become a weapon of Konoha to destroy our enemies. Yes, that is the best thing to do," said another. "Give Danzo the baby. This demon cannot allow to be roamed free in the village." "You all be quiet," Sarutobi said, as most of them shivered in fear as the man was releasing a killer intent that was so potent they had to be quiet instantly. "You damn ungrateful people. This baby is the only thing that is holding back the power of the demon fox. You all should be respectful and grateful that you are all alive right now because of him." Most of them, well, none of them didn't really know about the relationship of Kushina and Minato, seeing that Minato was really famous and, well, most of the Hidden Stone want him dead. So their relationship, people didn't even know that they got married. And about this baby, only one person knew, and that was Kushina's best friend Mikoto. And well, Itachi, yes, they were the only one that really knew, and the group that was there that night. So while everyone is now thinking that it's just a random baby that the demon has been sealed inside of, all of them had a regretful look on their faces as they saw how pissed Sarutobi was of their disgusting demands. "You will not be taking this baby and training him to become no weapon, Danzo," he said. Danzo grunted. He was pissed off. Sarutobi was always getting in his way, always stopping him from doing what he wants. "I will ensure that this baby live a good life, and to make sure of that he needs a guardian." There was one person in the room, a new Jonin. She knew what it felt like to be betrayed. Since a couple years ago, she felt like her entire life was just a runt, as she was going through the motions because of what happened. This girl was none other than Uncle Minarashi. Orochimaru betrayed the village and betrayed her by placing that seal on her neck. "I'll take him." Everyone turned their head. All of them looked at Uncle like she was crazy. "What's wrong?" she said. "I said I'll take him." "Hokage, this cannot be wise. It is better to hand the baby over to me," said Danzo. Sarutobi looked at Uncle. "Are you sure you can handle the responsibilities?" he asked. Right now, he wouldn't let Naruto go into any orphanage because, knowing Naruto's condition well, he didn't have any chakra. Things were going to be really difficult for him in the future. So, he will have to learn. And this strange power of his, he will have to have someone that can watch over Naruto and be there for him. Uncle was a nice young lady. Well, a bit on the mischief side, but she wasn't harmful, as she knew what it felt like to be betrayed and hurt. So that is why she's probably stepping up to this responsibility to protect this child. And he do not want to hand their baby over to an orphanage, especially when people find out what this baby contains inside of him. They are gonna put their resentment and their hatred on him, and he cannot let young Naruto go through that. I know what I'm doing, said Uncle. And if you would let me, I will take care of that boy and protect him, always. Hokage, you can't be really considering this, said Hayashi. As this couldn't be possible. They were going to hand over the most powerful demon that this world has ever known to Uncle. As he knew about this girl and heard about her, well, exploded tendencies. And she was once a student of a trader that abandoned the village all those years ago. And besides, she was still in her teens. 18 or probably 19 right now. Uncle stepped forward. I promise you, Hokage. I'll look after him, she said. Uncle was going through the motions after her sensei Orochimaru abandoned her. Many people in this village saw her as a monster, a traitor, thinking that one day he would come back for her as well. So many people did not trust her. She didn't have much in her life. Seeing this baby now, she could see that these people are thinking the same thing. But she had 100% in their former Hokage, Minato Namikaze, know what he's doing in Fuinjutsu. So she believed in him. She believed that the kid would be safe, and she would take care of him. Sarutobi looked at her, wondering what he should do. Is this the right choice, he thought to himself. Time skip. 12 years later. We found one Naruto Uzumaki lying down in a bed. As his hair has grown out, coming down to his shoulders, as he seemed to be asleep. It was then something hovered over his face as you could see the shadow. It was the size of a book. When out of nowhere, smack, 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 he was getting slapped all over as Naruto jumped out of his sleep. What the hell, he said as he looked up. He was then getting smacked all over again as Naruto slapped away the object. What's your problem, Yamato, he said. As Yamato looked over at Naruto, the book was just floating. You told me to wake you up early in the morning, said Yamato. But not this way, said Naruto. I know, Yamato said with humor in his voice, but their mouths were not moving because he was talking to Naruto directly in his mind. They were connected. It was strange. Naruto picked up his alarm clock. 5:30? He threw the clock at Yamato, who flew over it as the thing smashed in the wall. What the hell is going on? A voice shouted as Naruto's door was roughly slammed open. Naruto instantly covered his eyes. How many times do I have to tell you? You cannot keep on just walking around naked, Naruto shouted. Uncle looked down. What? I like to sleep naked, she said. And what's with all the noise? It's early in the morning. It's his fault. As he pointed over at Yamato. Yeah, that book. That only you can talk to in your mind. You know, sometimes I wonder if your head is on right. Or do I have to get your head checked? Or use it as kunai practice again? I'll use your face as kunai practice, Naruto muttered. What was that, said Uncle. Naruto didn't look at her. Put on some clothes and I'll tell you later, he said. Uncle grumbled and walked away. I'm going back to sleep. Be quiet, she said. As Naruto sighed, as he looked over at Yamato, who was chuckling the entire time. You bastard, he said. Serves you right, said Yamato. You were the one that told me to wake you up early in the morning, and it doesn't matter what or how, I must use anything possible. You're lucky I didn't use the others. What do you mean others, Naruto said. As Naruto turned his head, Naruto's eyes went wide as he saw there was a pot of hot boiling water. And then there was a knife. And then there was a baseball bat. And a club. What? Were you gonna kill me, Naruto asked. Oh, not kill you. Just wake you up in a quick fashion. I mean, I see Uncle talk about these things and do these things with our interrogation department. Were you following her again, said Naruto. Well, Yamato then shrank as he turned rather small and dropped right in Naruto's hand. When I become this size, they don't know I'm there and I can listen and see everything that they do. So I was gonna interrogate you. Naruto clenched his fist. Hey, what the hell are you doing, said Yamato. You sneaky bastard, Naruto says, he clenched his fist rather tight as he threw Yamato to the wall as he hit off it and dropped down. The next time you're thinking about doing something as crazy as that, I'll boil you, said Naruto. And I'll drown you, said Yamato. You know that you're a book, right? You don't have any hands. Come to think of it, how did you get these things up here? I have my ways, said Yamato. Have your damn ways. Naruto then rolled over on his bed as he put the pillow on his head. It's morning, get up. It's boring, said Yamato. If you're bored, go ahead and do something, Naruto said. As Yamato then went awfully silent. As Naruto quickly removed the pillow, he had to jump out of bed as the hot water was sprayed on the bed. Are you crazy, Naruto said, as Yamato simply chuckled. I told you to get up. You told me to use any means necessary to get you up. Yamato then went over to the table as he opened his book. As he then shut it over the knife, he then flew straight towards Naruto. Now get your ass in the shower, he said, making Naruto quickly run to the bathroom. As he locked the door behind him and started to huff and puff. Things just turned so crazy after a couple years ago, when he first met Yamato. Flashback. Ever since Naruto knew, he has been living with Anko. She told him that his real parents died in the war. Well, she didn't know who his parents were, but she adopted him. And he was grateful for her because of that. But the both of them weren't like really mother and son. It was more like a big, fun sister. Yeah, the both of them with all their problems and shenanigans. Naruto was currently in the forest of death, as he was here looking for Anko. She weren't at her favorite dango shop. She weren't at the IT department, so he feared that she was here. But he was lost, yes. This place was rather huge. He was around 7. He didn't know exactly where he was. He came to a stop before hearing growling. As he turned his head, Naruto started to back away. Oh my god, he said as he started to back. As the way Anko speak and the way Anko usually do things, it kind of rubbed off on Naruto. Naruto knew that he didn't have any chakra. He learned it from an early age. But that wasn't going to stop him. He was going to be a ninja no matter what. And just as cool as awesome like Anko. So he trained. For a kid, no, not even one single civilian can do him anything when it comes to fighting. Because he was incredibly strong and he was just 7-year-old already. But in front of him was a giant bear. A bear with black fur. The thing was marching towards him, as he didn't realize how far he had went in the forest of death. As he wasn't prepared for this. But he wasn't going to die here. He was still a kid. He has a long life ahead of him. As the bear came rushing at him, the thing seemed to be like it was out for blood. As Naruto jumped back, but bear raised his paw. Naruto swift under the paw as he flipped over and went over to a tree. As he picked up a rock and smashed it in the bear's head. As he started to run for his life. He kept on running for so long, but the thing kept on chasing after him. Naruto looked behind him. What the hell, he said, as he then saw 2 giant spiders beside the bear. They weren't fighting each other. The 3 of them were now running him down. He then heard a slithering sound as he turned to see a snake. What did I ever do to deserve this, he said, as he started to run even more before coming to a ravine. As he looked down, as Naruto turned around and cursed, because if he fall, he was going to fall into water, but it was so deep. He quickly ran back towards the bears, but he then turned his back and ran forward as he was going to try and jump it as he leaped over. But the moment as he was about to reach, a hawk suddenly flew down. The thing smashed right into him as his body started to fall. As he cursed as he was falling. Was he going to die? Was he never going to see Anko again? Was he never going to become a ninja? No, he can't die, he thought to himself. As Naruto was falling, he couldn't die. He had to do something to save himself. He just couldn't die. At the Hokage's tower, Sarutobi was going through paperwork. These are gonna be the death of me, he said. It was then that the picture frame on the wall where Minato was started to vibrate, before the picture was thrown off the wall and cracked to the ground. The safe that was behind that, the entire thing was pulled out of the wall, dropping to the ground, before the safe was burst open. As the book that Sarutobi hasn't seen move for 7 years now suddenly flew through the window. Sarutobi stood there in utter shock as the book flew through the sky, tearing at incredible speeds. Meanwhile, Naruto was falling as he closed his eyes. Perhaps he won't die if he fall into the water, Perhaps. But then he didn't feel anything. He wasn't falling anymore. As he looked up, he saw his shirt was being held by something. Something had slipped under his shirt and he was holding him up. The thing then gently placed him down. What? A book? Naruto was rather confused as he looked at a book. What the hell? He said. As he blinked twice to see if he was seeing things. Did that book just save me? You know you could say thanks, you ungrateful brat. Who was that? Said Naruto. Are you blind or something, dumbass? Who is that? Naruto said. I'm here, dumbass. As Naruto turned his head. Wait. Book? Are you talking? My name is Yamato. I'm not just a book. Well, I don't really know, said Yamato. What do you mean? Said Naruto. Well, that's the only thing I remember, that my name is Yamato. What exactly am I? Said Yamato. You're asking me? Wait, how are we talking? My lips aren't moving. Oh, it seems like I'm connected to your brain somehow. That's freaky, right? Did you created me? Yamato asks. Because judging from the way you look, I'm not really normal, seeing that I saw old man when I came here. Well, he was in the office that I came out of. Wait, you talking about the Hokage? I don't know what the hell that is, said Yamato. As Naruto sighed. Just what the hell is going on? End of the flashback. And ever since he found out a lot of things about himself. The reason why he didn't have chakra, he had something different called mana. It's a form of energy that exists in nature and within people. But as far as they know, he was the only one in this village that had mana. Everyone else has chakra. It's similar to chakra but it's different. And it's quite dangerous and kind of explosive when you gather too much of it. And he seemed to have a lot. But it's not unlimited, since he tried using the force of death before and he ended up passing out. And he woke up in the hospital a day later. Uncle was worried. She nearly beat him to death and told him to never do something as stupid as that again. Well, she was proud that he was getting stronger, but she loved him very much. And she didn't want anything bad to happen to him. He was the only one that he knew could open Yamato. No one else could open the book. It was rather strange, and he was the only one that can talk to him and use the things inside. There was only 7 pages that was, well, with writing on them. And these were spells. As Naruto read it at the first of the book, all the spells containing, the more they go on, the more dangerous they become. As you can see that, because the first page was nothing but light spells that weren't really difficult to use. But as he go down to the 7th page, he was able to produce fireballs that were incredibly hot, that could incinerate things in their path. But the rest of the pages were blank. Yamato had no idea either. It seems like something was wrong with him, because he told Naruto he did not remember anything until he first heard his cries of worries and woke up. It was rather strange, and Naruto did not know why. And he asked Sarutobi, but Sarutobi told him that he did not know why either, and that his parents did not possess power like that. But when he asked Sarutobi who was his parents, he just told him that his parents did not possess power like that, and he did not tell him anything. The man was hiding who his parents were, and Naruto had no idea why. But for right now, he will just go with it. But it seems like he was the only one in this nation that possessed this kind of power, and that was pretty awesome. As Naruto had a shower and got dressed, he was currently wearing a black mesh shirt with a white jacket over it, and black pants and black sandals. As his hair was combed back, going down to his shoulders. As he smiled in the mirror. Ugly ass. Here who's talking? The one that have no facial features. I'm much cuter than you, said Yamato. Oh, and how is that, said Naruto. Do you have a face to look at? As Yamato flew straight towards Naruto, as the both of them turned towards the mirror. I mean, just look at those curves. Just look at those pages, how they flop. When the breeze hit them, they just flop like a gentle goddess in the breeze. Do you really think that you're more handsome than me, said Yamato. Man, I hate to break it to you, but you're a book. You have no curves, you have nothing like that. You're a goddamn book, Naruto said. And you're weirdo, said Yamato. And how am I a weirdo, said Naruto? Because you're talking to a book, that's how. And no one else can do this. So if you're saying that, that means you're weird as well, said Naruto. Because you're talking to me. And I know no book can talk to a human. So you're a weirdo as well. Well, yeah, I got you there, Naruto said. Now be quiet. It's your fault I'm up already. I should be relaxing. I mean, it's not even time for school yet. You told me to wake you up early, said Yamato. Not this early. I just want to have some light practice before school. Why do you even bother going to that place, said Yamato. I mean, it's just a waste of your time. Why don't they give you one of those headband things? You know I have to graduate first. But you're the strongest one there, and yet you don't show off your full power. Why are you doing that, said Yamato. I mean, you haven't even used half of the spells inside of me yet. And when it comes to physical strength, you're far above all of them. But you always hold back. Why? Well, deception is a best tactic for a ninja. Uncle was the one that told me that. So yeah, to make people not know how truly strong I am, I keep on holding back. And when the time finally comes, I will blow their mind. That's a good strategy, said Yamato. So what are you gonna do with your extra time? Well, I would sleep, but you already broke that momentum. Well, why don't we go find out what Uncle is doing? Be quiet, you pervert, said Naruto. You just want to peep on her. And that's disgusting. What? She's fine as hell, said Yamato. Don't talk about her like that, said Naruto. She's like a sister to me. I know she's like a sister to you, but to me she's a hot, vibrant lady. I've told you this before, but it seems like I have to tell you again. You cannot talk to her because you're a book and I'm the only one that you can talk to. And why would she be with a book? I mean, you don't even have genitals. Well, you are a mage, as the front part of my book said. So you can use your powers to create one for me. And if I could, I wouldn't. Why would I want a book to sleep with someone that is like a sister to me? I mean, come on, think about that. You know, sometimes you're just really messed up. I'm not messed up. I'm just sexually frustrated. You don't have those urges, said Naruto. I think I'll have to take you off TV watch because you're getting too corrupted by these television and the ninja world. No, you can't take away my TV time, said Yamato. Well then, stop talking about Uncle in that way and I won't. Fine, I won't even look at her again. Even though she has a nice piece of ass, said Yamato. Yamato, said Naruto. Sorry, I just slipped, Yamato said. Slip one more time and you see what happened. Time skip, a few hours later. Naruto was walking through the streets. As the villagers as usual, most of them are glaring at him. But he didn't really care, because he knew why. Naruto, don't let them get to you, said a feminine voice. Don't worry, I'm not, Naruto said. Oh, what's up, hot fox, said Yamato. As a growl could be heard. Come on, don't behave that way, hot fox. You know I don't like you, don't you? As Yamato simply chuckled. What's wrong, can't handle me? You're just a pathetic little book. I would rip you to shreds. Aw, don't hurt my feelings, said Yamato. As we dive inside Naruto Mindscape, inside was rather beautiful. As trees, there was a giant forest, and a large house was there. As we dive into the house, Yamato went inside. As inside was a beautiful girl. She had red, vibrant hair going down to her back. She had 9 tails behind her. This was none other than the 9-tailed fox, the Kyuubi, which was a girl. As Naruto remembered how he met her, flashback, a few years ago. Naruto just finished one of his training sessions. Well, he has recently gotten Yamato and he's been testing out these powers, and they were awesome. He was in the forest of death. Uncle was off on a mission, as he could go all out in here, because no one would really come in here except for him and Uncle, and he rather enjoyed it. He picked up himself as Yamato came beside him. So what now, said Yamato, you beat? Nah, I can go again, said Naruto. I would suggest that you rest. Last time you went so hard you ended up passing out and wake up in the hospital. So yeah, just relax yourself. And if you try anything stupid again, I'll beat you with my body. That kind of sounds gay, said Naruto. How can that be gay? I'm a literal book. I would just beat you with my body. If I said I would place your head between my sheets, no, that would sound gay. As Naruto shook his head, and yet he would still say it. You know, I've been wondering something ever since we met. What is that, Naruto asked. Well, I don't know what it is. Yamato then came close to Naruto as he sat on top of his head. as he lied down flat. Every time I am really close to you, I felt this uneasy presence, that there's something lurking in the shadows beneath you. And what do you mean by that? Well, let me try something, said Yamato. Naruto's entire body started to glow red, and so did Yamato as well, before the both of them went down. Naruto slowly opened his eyes. What the hell did you do, Yamato? He asked. Be quiet, Yamato said. I didn't do anything bad. I just brought you to where this strange power is. So you mean to tell me that you know this since we met, and you're just telling me about it now? Well, it's just been a couple of months, and I was having too much fun, learning everything, seeing that I don't remember where I came from or what I really am. So yeah, screw your business. I am more important than you. But without me, you're nothing, said Naruto. Be quiet, you two, said a voice. Naruto blinked a few times and then turned back to his side. Yamato? Run, Naruto, it's a ghost, said Yamato, as he was flying away. As Yamato tried to fly, but the more he fly, he was just going into darkness. What the hell am I doing? This is even more dark, as he rushed back Naruto's side. As he flew under Naruto's shirt. What the hell are you doing, Naruto said. I told you not to watch that movie. As Yamato remembered what he did. A couple days ago, Yamato was downstairs. Would you go to bed already, said Naruto. Just be quiet, said Yamato. It's not like you're my father or anything, and it's not like you control me. So I'm gonna be watching this movie, whether you like it or not. Oh, I'm worried about you being scared and then acting like a baby. I'm not scared of anything, and besides I'm a book. What could anyone do to me? And as you can see, I'm quite indestructible. Not even your fire attacks or anything you throw at me can hurt me. Alright then, Naruto says he went upstairs. As Yamato stayed behind. As he lifted up himself and pressed the remote. He then lie back down on the couch. Despite not having a single eye, he could see everything clearly though. And that was the worst mistake he ever made. Back to the present time, Naruto flung Yamato out of his shirt. I told you to not watch that movie, and now you're shaking like a coward. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to make him so scared. What a little baby, is the voice. I know, right, said Naruto. Wait, who the hell was that, he asked. Come closer and you will find out. As Naruto went over, Yamato creeping behind him. What the hell is going on, he said, as he looked around. There was a cage there. As he saw a large form, but it then started to decrease in size, before something walked out of the cage. It was a woman, but the moment she walked out, a collar came around her neck, with a strange seal on it. She then stepped forward, as blood started to leak from Naruto's nose, as Yamato started to whistle. Is this one of those scary movies, when the girl comes out of a TV or something? I mean, if it is, she can kill me right now, I wouldn't care, as long as she plant those things in my face. Because the girl in front of them were completely naked. Oh, you humans find this strange, don't you? Sorry about that, she said, as she waved her hand and her body started to, clothes started to appear on her. This mindscape is a wonderful thing, she said. I can practically do anything I want if you give me free reign. Wait, mindscape? Just who hell are you, Naruto asked. I don't want to tell you, she said. And why not? Because you're gonna hate me if I do. Why would I hate you, Naruto said. I don't even know who you are. As she sighed. I am the Kyuubi. Wait, as in the thing that attacked the village all those years ago? Yes. And I am the reason why you're always being glared at and hated. I was sealed inside of you, and I turned your life into this. Come on, you have to forgive her. I mean, if anything else, just look at that body, said Yamato. But how are you a woman, Naruto said? Aren't you supposed to be a beast with 9 tails? Well, we Bijous never had genders, but I took on this gender a long time ago to walk amongst the humans. But that's been a long time ago since I was trapped. And trapped again. And now trapped inside of you. You are my host now, my Jinchuriki host. A Jinchuriki? End of the flashback. As Naruto smiled. Well, things haven't been so bad. other than the people hating him. And he knew why the reason why most of them glare and hated Anko as well. Because of her connection to her former sensei, Orochimaru. If he ever find that man, he would kill him for putting Anko through so much hell. And he also wanted to get away to get rid of that seal on her neck, as he wondered if there's any spells in this book that can get rid of corruption or seals or anything like that. They cleanse the body from something. But it's probably further down the book, probably more advanced. Hey dumbass, are you listening to me? Said Yamato. Oh, sorry about that, said Naruto. What is it? I was wondering. Why are you gay? Said Yamato. Naruto sighed as he just kept on walking. I mean, aren't you going to answer my question? Yamato said. But Naruto ignored him until it was too much to bear. Why? Why do you think I'm gay? Naruto asked. I mean, that's why. As they arrived at the classroom, look at all those beautiful girls in the class. The guys on the TV, they always get the girls. But you, no. Are you too cool for that? Are you a homosexual? Said Yamato. Do you see me liking boys? Naruto asked. Well, no, said Yamato. Then I'm not a goddamn homosexual. And what do you mean, I don't talk to girls? Naruto said. I mean you do. But that's all you do. You don't really kiss them. Or do what the guys do on TV. Yeah, they kiss them. And the girls are just falling over them. Like the Uchiha, for example. I mean, he's weird. I don't know what's wrong with him, but he's always surrounded by girls, but I look on his face like he's just bored of them. As Naruto looked at Sasuke, there was a massacre of the Uchiha clan and his entire family was killed, so he could understand why Sasuke was always in that mood. But Sasuke was mostly of a jackass, so Naruto did not really pay him mind. What are you talking about, Yamato? Said the Kyuubi. Naruto is a charmer with the ladies. It's just that he doesn't take things too far. Yeah, you know what I mean, said Yamato. But he needs to. I mean, he's already, like, 30 years old, right? What the hell are you talking about 30 years old? I'm 12, said Naruto. Oh, my mistake, said Yamato. I mean, he's already 12 and he doesn't have a girlfriend already. Something is seriously wrong with that. Yeah, you're probably right. We need to get him a girlfriend. You know I'm right here, said Naruto. I can hear what the two of you are saying. Oh, sorry about that, Naruto-kun, said the Kyuubi. But I don't have a girlfriend either, said Yamato. What do you say, Kyuubi? How about me and you? What does mean, she asks. Well, it means... And what does mean, she asks. You know, he said. I know what she said. Come on. You've seen the way Anko talk about things. And when she explained the bird and the beast to Naruto. And how exactly are we gonna do anything? You're a book, she said. Yeah, he's a book. And you are a superpower entity that is made from chakra and has a conscience now. And he's a girl. And he's a book and you're stuck in my mindscape. Even though he can go there, nothing's gonna happen. So just get that out of your mind. Just give me some time, said Yamato. I'll have you falling all over me, Kyuubi. As she snorted, big talk coming from a man with just Page inside of him. As Yamato sighed, Naruto, you really need to find that spell to give me you know what. I'm not gonna give you genitals, said Naruto. Naruto was then bumped out of the way by two people rushing inside. One of them stopped as she had an apologetic look on her face. Sorry Naruto, she said, but she then went off. But Naruto said nothing, as it was Ino and Sakura. Ino looked at Naruto. In fact, Ino had a crush on him. But because of her competition with Sakura, she always focused on Sasuke. But Sasuke never paid him any mind before. But Naruto, he was just so cool. He was different from the other boys in the class. And the way he spoke, he just had a charming tone. As she wondered if she should focus on Naruto even more, because he didn't even know that she liked him. But Sakura was completely obsessed with Sasuke, as Sasuke wasn't even paying them any mind. Sasuke was a bit jealous of Naruto because he knew that the kid could do much better. He once saw Naruto practicing in a training field, and he was doing all sorts of things, but when he came to school, he didn't show any of those skills. As Sasuke turned his head, there was a strong girl in their class. Her name was Hinata Hyuga. As Naruto was looking around the class as well, until his eyes landed on Hinata. She waved at him as he smiled at her. They were good friends, yes. because he didn't see her in that romantic way. They were friends though. Hinata was having problems earlier on with her. Well, she was really shy. But Naruto, being the person he is and talking to her, he was able to make her get more confidence. And over the years, Hinata has rised up, making her father train her because one day she's going to become the head of the clan and change the Hyuga. And she thanked Naruto because of her confidence boost. As Naruto walked over and sat down, as he banged his hand on the table, Shikamaru quickly lifted up his head. "Shikamaru, it's your mom. She's outside." "What?" said Shikamaru. As Naruto started to laugh, making Choji laugh as well before Choji started to cough. As Naruto patted him on the back. "You can't be laughing while eating chips," Naruto said. Shikamaru held on to his chest. "Don't do something like that. You know what will happen if she caught me sleeping here?" As Shikamaru sighed, "Troublesome blonde," he said. "Alright everyone," said Aruka. "As I said, today is going to be the martial arts test. So, get ready, we're going outside in a few minutes," he said. Sasuke clenched his fist as he couldn't wait for the chance to fight Naruto. He wanted to see his true skills because ever since that day, he wanted to see what he was truly made of. Sasuke was the top of the class, but he knew that Naruto has been holding back because he saw him training and he never showed what he really is capable of. But guys, let me end this episode right here. If you want to see part 2 of this, remember to comment down below and tell me that you want to see part 2 guys, and I'll be posting it as soon as possible. But for now, I'm out. See you guys soon. Peace.